You're having a nice Saturday afternoon and suddenly a notification pops up on your phone. It's your friend telling you that assignment instructions are out and you guys have to start on your assignment right now. You go to the instructions link and you look at the instructions, you understand, okay, you have to write an essay now. But now when you start reading this article, you realize you can't even string more than one sentence together without fumbling your words either inside your head or when you say it out loud. So then you realize, I have a problem with reading. What do I do? I'm literally helpless. In today's world, how often do we read? Most likely, we're watching YouTube videos or we're watching other kind of videos to get our information or asking somebody. We rarely actually read to get information. And this is why so many people are struggling with how to read. That's what I thought as well, till I figured out there were 2 or 3 tips you could follow yourself to change the way that you think about reading. So what are those tips? I'm going to share with you in this video. The first time that you're actually reading something, especially when it's an article or a book that you really do not like at all, but you have to do it anyways. When you read one of these books, what happens is you skim through most of the words and then it comes to the point where, let's say 20 minutes later, you have read 2 paragraphs and you feel, okay, at least I've done this much when I couldn't read anything at all before. Now, even though you've done those 2 paragraphs, when you really go back to think about it, what did I actually learn from those 2 paragraphs? You realize you didn't learn anything at all. In fact, your mind thought it did learn something, but it didn't actually learn anything because it read through, but it did not understand what is being said. Because it's like you were just staring at the words, but you were not engaging with the words. You were not actively participating with what the words were trying to convey. Instead, you were trying to just finish it fast. Now, this might seem very obvious to some of you, but all you have to do is, first of all, find a quiet room, close the door, close the blinds, switch on the light, and make sure that there is no distraction around you. Make sure that you are probably the only person in that room trying to do work, because as much as you might think that you'd be able to do work with other people, guess what? You'd end up talking with them and things don't really get done always. So, especially if you want to read something, close the door, close the blinds and go into a dark room and then switch on the light, and this is your best place to concentrate. But this is probably something you've heard before. What's another thing that you could do to also improve your concentration? From my own experience, I can tell you, all you have to do is find your perfect posture to study. Yes, I know people talk about you having to sit up straight always to focus properly, especially when reading, because it works that way for most people. But guess what? From my own experience, I'm telling you, for some people, sitting straight does not always work. Sometimes you might want to be slanting a bit. You might want to be in a relaxed state to focus better. Because me personally, I like to lie down on the bed, but not lie down flat, but rather with an arch. And this helps me focus a lot more. And this puts me in the position of thinking, the words are flowing, the meanings are flowing, and everything is in equilibrium. Everything is going exactly like I want. Then I can just skim through words and I'm actually understanding what I'm saying as well. Because in some cases, I read books sitting up straight, but then I realize that did not really help me because I was being too strict with my brain. I'm telling my brain, focus right now. This is what you want to read. Make sure that you get it done right now. And it's like you're putting too much pressure on yourself to perform in that moment. That's another thing I always tell people. People think they need to perform, and that performing complex comes into play a lot. That is why people don't understand what they read many of the times. Because they feel, because if you don't perform right now, then you failed. And that failure complex in your head always plays with you, and then you don't know what to do. So now, while slanting might be the perfect position for me, maybe for you it's lying down, maybe for you it's sitting up straight. But I ask you to try out different postures till you find the perfect posture for you to focus while reading. That's another thing that you really want to account for. There's also some minor details that you want to focus on, especially when it comes to lighting. Because if the lighting is right overhead and it's hitting you right in the face, then probably lying down is not the best idea, because when the light is hitting you, that's another distraction. And also, how far is this text from you? Are you holding it too close to your head? Are you holding it too far away from you? Because this distance always varies between person to person, and finding that perfect distance requires a lot of experimentation, and without that, you can't really get to what really works for you. So you were able to make everybody in the house keep quiet. You were able to turn the TV off. You were able to cut down all the noise in your house. Now it's just you in a room, sitting by yourself, no distractions. But now you start to read in your mind, and then you see, it's still not working for me. I'm still missing something. Now, what is that? This is what I call expression. You're missing expression. It's like, when you deliver certain speeches, especially about topics that you understand or topics that you are passionate about, you know how you can just keep rambling about and it actually seems very impressive. And that's the difference between why you can read in some cases and why you can't read in some cases. It's basically interest, or it's rather how much interest do you show towards what you're doing. So the best tip that I can give you for this particular problem is to read out loud while reading a book. It's almost like giving a speech. How this works is, so let's say that you have text in front of you and you're reading it out loud. Simply reading it out loud is not enough. What you have to do, and what I've seen has really helped me read better, is include some body language as well. Now, it doesn't have to be exaggerated body language too much, but it can be as simple as the fox went to the house and met 3 pigs and then blew the house down. And the actions don't have to be very elaborate. It can be as simple as this, just following along to every word you're saying, every big word that you're saying, you have some action behind it. And using these hand gestures will add the element of experience to what you're trying to present. Because the idea is you want your brain to understand. And the best way to make your brain understand is visually, or in our case, it would be with body language. When you include more elements, it's like your brain is being told, this is very important. It's not just one thing that's being used. There are multiple things being used to help you understand this. So first of all, your brain is actively working on, there are words in front of me. What are these words saying? Secondly, there's body language cues that are so important, and that is why I need to really focus on what is being said. That gives me the element of almost like a video. It's telling me more than just audio. And this helps your brain concentrate way more and try to deliver it as if you're delivering a speech. So slow down the way that you speak as well. And the main thing that people forget is to enunciate words properly. Because some people might slur a few words just to finish the sentences quick. But especially when it comes to big words and big sentences, you want to enunciate it properly, because otherwise your brain's going to go back to that again and again and again till it gets it right. And you don't want that. So in that case, pronounce words properly. And read out loud to the point where it's almost like you're delivering a speech to an audience. Or if you feel stage fright, to the mirror. If you feel stage fright, as if you're delivering a speech to the mirror. Now you figured this out and you're thinking, it's still not working because I still have one more problem left. Now I'm trying to read pages so fast that the last time I read 10 pages, I read it in 15 minutes. That's a record for me. So why am I still not understanding stuff? It's again going back to intention. What are you actually reading this book for? Or what are you reading this article for? Because if it's simply to finish it off and move to the next one, unfortunately, you're not going to learn anything. Take it from my own experience. Because I had the same thing for maybe, let's say, 4 or 5 months, where I was reading books or I was reading articles for assignments, and it came to the point where I was not even understanding what I was reading, because I was simply trying to speed through everything. And it was about how fast can I finish it, how efficient can I be with finishing it. But with that efficiency, I forgot the main point of reading is to understand what is being said. So with the intention aspect, you want to know what you're saying, but at the same time, you want to know how you can translate this into real application. How are you going to implement what you're going to learn right now? It could be information that either number one, you have for your assignment and then you type it out for the assignment, you use it in some way or the other. Otherwise, number two, it's actual advice that you could probably use in your own life and then you use it that way. So the basic idea is shift your focus away from just simply trying to finish this book. I want to move to the next one. Or in the case of articles, I just want to start the assignment right now. I don't care about the articles. I want to just move on to the next one, That is where the problem stems from, because you don't have a goal in mind. So why are you reading this particular article? Why are you reading this particular book? Is there something I want to gain from this? And if there is something that you want to gain from this, then it's probably worth spending more time on it and trying to understand, why am I doing this? What can I actually take away once I've read this article? Because if you take nothing away, you finish it in 10 minutes. Isn't that 10 minutes of your life you just blew away for nothing? At least if you've done something, it's different. But if it went to waste, then there's no point at all. So try to take something away from every experience that you have. If you guys were able to improve your reading based on this video, comment down below your main takeaway from this video. And if you guys enjoyed this one, then you might want to check out a video about improving your focus, linked on the right. So smash subscribe, slap a like on, and always remember, never stop dreaming. See you all.